Welcome to the 5th episode of Lot Talk with the crew here at Bieber's. And today we have Craig Howard joining us and Jake Harms, my favorite son-in-law. He's my only son-in-law, if you were wondering. I don't play favorites. I just like him to feel good about the fact that he is. So anyway, on to the important stuff. There are a few catalog corrections. I'm going to mention one of the lots today, but if you go to our website and go to the sale page, you'll be able to see those. You'll be able to see those corrections, and so I encourage you to do that. Today, the videos will start coming up on DV Auction. We will be linking those as soon as we start to see some to our website, but you can go to the DV Auction and go to our sale and view the video catalog. So make sure you take a look. Only part of them will come up today. Others will come up as they're done. We're going to be videoing the first 3 days of the week, and so the first day they'll get those in and start getting them edited, and we anticipate by Wednesday morning there should be some up, and then consequently by Saturday they'll all be up. We also expect to be able to have the ultrasound data along with the frame scores and disposition scores up later in the week. We're scoring every bull as we video, and so we'll have a good idea what's going on with all that. Don't expect that to be complete until the first, but we will have the ultrasound with updated EPDs, which that run is happening and will be released sometime the evening of the 22nd. So by the 23rd, 24th, we'll have it up on our website along with the frame scores. With that, we're going to talk today about 81 through 100. I guess we'll start off with this 81 bull, 1B bull out of the Maximus bull that sure hits it out of the park on weaning and yearling. You guys have thoughts on this one?
Just lots and lots of horsepower. I mean, that's going to add plenty of weight to acidic, yes.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a 1B, so you don't really have to worry about the registered guys getting in. They're still getting a lot of power, and
Yep,
of course
they're
the
getting-
guys are getting to get some.
I mean, that's a great point, Jake. They're getting everything from a breeding standpoint. We've bred these cattle lots of years, and they're really getting everything that you're getting in the 1As, just in a 1B category. And so they qualify for the Red Angus feeder calf. They can show just like 1As if you want to. All that, it's just that there's a category designation and they're bred up cattle. And so like this one, you'll see he's 96% Red Angus. AR is the international breed code for Red Angus. And then it shows XX as the other 3.1%. Now part of the reason it has XX is because it's unknown. The truth of the matter is the Durham started with Simmental cows. They eyed them Red Angus, and there were some years they didn't know the exact breed percentage. And so what happens is instead of guessing, we know that 3.1% is either Simmental or Red Angus. We just don't know which of which it is. So these cattle are as bred as well as any of our 1As, and we do often get a lot of customers who discount 1Bs, but the reality is genetically they're the very same cattle that we've produced here. I mean, we've bred these cattle. I think the agreement we had with the Durhams was back in you remember the year 09.
That sounds right, yeah.
So we've been breeding these cattle since 2009. And they stack a lot of the very same bulls in the pedigree. The Milk Creek Unified bull on this case was a bull that we bought from Milk Creek that was out of fusion. One of the things we mentioned in the previous episode is how well we liked the fusion derived daughters. All those kind of fusions are Forefront, Atomic, Federalist, Federation. We had all kinds of fusions. So, anything else to add on this cow or this bull? I should say this lot.
I don't think so.
Okay, 82. We get on to a Rouse stock market son, or he's a stock market from the Rouse program, out of an old Cherokee Canyon daughter. This is probably a cow that's got quite a bit of age on her. That's done a great job in the Rouse program. Now, so at Bieber, here at Bieber and Angus, we want to turn the generations a little faster, and so we sell every cow when she turns 7. So when she weans that calf that fall, she's sold. But the Rouse do keep some cows, and this cow's sure been around a long time. I remember bulls from year to year.
Years back, that T30 cow has brought bulls here, and yeah, she's been around for a long time and done a good job.
So I don't know a lot about the Rouse cows, but just looking through it, just the age of the dams on a lot of them. I mean, 9, I think, is another one back here. She's 9 years old. Just the longevity on it is great.
Yep. Anyway, then on to 33. Here's a franchise out of another fusion daughter. I mean, that's one of the things we do in this program is we make a lot of daughters out of the bulls, and then they get stacked in a lot of pedigrees. Any thoughts on lot 83, guys?
Cow's probably a tick bigger than a lot of the fusions. Maybe got a tick more frame than a lot of the fusions that we have, daughters that we have. But just she brings a lot to the table. Big soggy kind of cow, and yeah, she's been a good one.
I just think something interesting about the fusion line in general. I was talking to a customer the other day, and he runs on a lot of fescue, and there's a DNA test, the T-SNP, that you can test for like the tolerance of fescue, and he actually tested his whole herd down there, and he found that the fusion line cattle rated the highest on that, which I thought was really interesting to those guys who might be concerned about that.
Yep. Yeah, that is a good point, Jake. The fusion, the Andrews program is in fescue country, and it makes sense that they have bulls that are kind of selected well for that. So, this bull's an ET calf. He's sure going to provide you with kind of a bull to use on cows with a lot of growth. That an East cow line, I mean, Craig Howard hit it right on the head there. They come with a bit more frame if you're looking for that sort of thing. This bull himself is a frame 6 kind of bull, so he's the kind of bull you should sure look at if you want to add a little frame. With that, we'll move on to lot 84. Here's an atomic out of a mitigator. I guess thoughts, guys?
Atomic on mitigator is gonna work. There's no question. And if you look at, Tilly's, the Tilly cow family's been around for forever, and they put, countless numbers of good ones out.
Yeah.
That's a.
Well, and the original ET program, we probably flushed, I want to say there was 3 or 4 Tillys that we flushed in that, and so they've proliferated a lot throughout the herd. Between Tilly and Primrose, those are probably 2 of the more, 2 of the cow lines with probably as much notoriety as any I can think of. So
throw a Dell in there, and that pretty much takes care of it, though. Yeah?
Yep. This calf puts a Pro S in the top 7%. So if you're looking for a for an atomic, this should sure be a 3-star calving ease bull that you should take a look at. Move on to lot 85. Here's a stock market out of a ride-on. We've seen a bunch of these ride-ons in the previous episode. What do you guys have to add?
From what you guys have told me about the Toriana line, that's just been a powerful line. Maybe not exactly the largest frame. I guess I can't remember for sure. Yep. But just looking at the ones that are out there now, they're efficient. They get the job done. Yep.
The 211 cow was a donor cow that we had flushed for. I think maybe we even took her out of production for a little bit. I can't remember, but the 211Y, which is the maternal granddam, Toriana, and so she is one that's produced a bunch of embryos. This bull in particular is 3-star calving ease with a 35.9 scrotal. Just another stock market opportunity. He wouldn't get his ears forward. We actually stepped it up this year and tried to do about 60 pictures, and it gets to be a challenge. We'd like to get it done in a day because we got other things to do in cabin, and so.
Not to mention, the wind was blowing 45 miles an hour that day, so it was that added a little element of stress to the whole deal too.
Yep. So on to lot 86. We got a stockman, and we were joking earlier. We wish we'd have named him different, but we think we're going to start referring him to stock market and not stock market. So this is E116. It's kind of a joke we have around here. So, any thoughts on this one, guys?
Sleep all night Gabonese, growth in the top 5%.
This cow just calved earlier this week actually, and you know she did good the first time. I think she's setting up to do it again, just the way that bull calf's looking.
This is a mating we've talked about quite a bit. I mean, we have a lot of forefront daughters, and it has worked really well. This 86 bull, he comes in at a 5+ on frame. He's done a lot of things right, but the particular thing, and you'll be able to get the carcass ultrasound data on our website, but he's a 114 on ribeye, so he'll put some ribeye in him. On to 87. Here's a stock market 1B. We talked about 1Bs a little bit, but this bull offers you a lot of the same things that we've seen when we have stock market on Spartacus. Again, stacked. Thoughts on this bull, Craig?
Well, I think the last video you were talking about some of your mentors or whatever, so I got a little story. So, Craig, you and I were in...
I usually get through under the bus on these, so I'm just okay, anyway.
We were at a sale in Montana, and I got pretty excited about a bull towards the front end. And one thing that I'll remember is you said, okay, let's go to the back end and work our way up the sire line. We ended up not buying him, which was probably just fine. Take a look at the stock markets from the back end and work your way to the front. You're going to like every one of them.
Yeah, so that story is we worked all the way through the whole sire group, and there was probably 30 to 50, I don't remember.
Yep.
And we just couldn't get excited. And part of my philosophy is let's work through the average, because we will be able to produce some good ones. We have what we consider a very good cow herd, and we do a good job. But what's the mean and what's the lower end going to look like? And so that's a concern of ours when we select a sire is are we going to be able to market the whole bell-shaped curve? I think it's important in looking at any sire. And look, there are lots of people who need lots of different bulls at lots of different prices. And so not saying that the bulls, I mean, there's some really good bulls up at 250. I was just looking at, I think he's up in Pen 4. There's a bull that, in the 250 area that just catches my eye every time I see him. He's thick and he's deep. And so there are great options. I mean, we're going to only talk about this year about 120 or more bulls. Kristen is wanting me to keep them shorter, but the truth of the matter is, and there are good options all the way up, and part of why we do that is so there's bulls in every price range and every desire, still buying quality bulls. So go on to lot 88. We have a not stockman out of heavily harmed daughter. Any thoughts here?
That's going to be 3 in a row.
Yeah.
But, just looking at the cows, Dylan and I were talking about the bulls the other day, and mostly the cows they came out of, and I thought you made a really good point, just talking about the moderation of these cows and the in that 1,000, 1,200 pound range, and their ability to wean off these cows while also getting bred back on time. Though that's the genetics we're trying to pass on, and I think that's what's going to make our customers more profitable.
Good point, Jake. With that, just want to point out that this bull's a 3-star Cavenese with a 36 scrotal. He actually gives you a 5+ frame, and so he's sure he does a lot of things right and a little bit different pedigree. Now, I said it wrong a little bit ago. I said not stock. I said not stock market. Okay, so another 89 is another not stock market calf. This one is one I want to bring to your attention. This one is where the footnote is wrong. So I write these in a hurry, and I wasn't paying too close attention. And another breeder, Tim Schick, actually brought it to my attention. He wondered how we could have full brothers and they had different sires. So the deal is that, and this is why we joked about the stock market and not stock market, because we flushed this cow young to stock market on one flush, and not stock market or E116 on the second flush. And so and then we put those embryos. So consequently, we have kind of 3/4 brothers in this deal. So the right footnote, I'll read it to you, is right here on lot 89. Has a full brother selling as 90 and maternal brothers selling as 11, 18, and 112. And we'll just give a shout out to Tim Schick for noticing that and mentioning that on our deal. Is there any thoughts that you guys have? I mean, we probably should cover 89 and 90 together. They're virtually the same.
I would say there is. I mean, 90 catches my eye when I'm feeding in the morning a little bit more. It's just a personal thought of mine. But I mean,
Yep.
as far as the numbers go, I mean, they obviously stack up pretty good with next to each other. But
You know, so it's interesting to note you have two full brothers here and a little bit difference in the EPDs. That's what genomics does. One of the ways that genomics is the most informative is on ET full brothers, okay? Because it separates out small differences. So when you page back and forth, and it's too bad that we didn't get these bulls on the same page. Probably my fault. But you know, the differences that you see are all related to genomics when it comes down to these bulls. So you'll notice one place. I'm just going to point it out on one trait. On yearling weight 90 is 150. And on yearling weight 89 is 125. And so obviously the genomics have indicated that there's a difference between these two bulls, and so that's why we use it. I mean, it's particularly big if you look at the birth weight at minus 0.6 compared to minus 3.1. Now the calving ease doesn't differ as much, but the reality is that's what genomics does to enhance a picture of what these cattle do. Anyway, any thoughts that I might have missed, Craig, that you want to add on that,
No.
on 90?
Nope, I think you guys said it all.
Okay. Lot 91, we got a Tiberius here out of a hard drive. This is a classic mating, Spartacus on hard drive. Any thoughts, guys?
Just going to be stout and good. Actually, I just saw that calf this morning as I was shopping the water tanks. He come up to visit me, and boy, he's sure a nice calf, just really stout and thick, just like you'd expect.
I'm sorry, Jake. I'll give 214X. You know, is a cow we flushed, and this is a result. But we talked about another derivative of 214X. Oh, here a lot, or maybe it was in the previous episode. But that's a cow you'll see quite a bit in our deal. Jake, you had something to add?
I just said personally, this is my favorite Tiberius calf of the offering. I saw him too this morning. He fits right in there. You know, he started with a little bit of a deficit, but he came right back and he's in pen one.
Yep.
He fits in.
Yep. He's done a nice job. With that, we'll move on to 92. This is an atomic out of a deep end. Thoughts on this, guys?
Boy, if you got a set of cows that you need to improve some udders on, this is a sure shot deal. Atomic on the top side, deep end on the bottom side. That's a sure shot deal if you got some udders that need a little bit better quality. That's
one thing we should talk about a little bit. You know, deep end, has been a bull that we don't have we don't have any bulls in the sale anymore. We liked the bull. It's just at the time we were using Hard Drive, who's a maternal brother, and then we ended up with Gladiator, who's another maternal brother out of Spartacus, and then we had Deep End with about 5 rolling deep sons. Mm-hmm. He kind of got shorted, and probably some of the better rolling deep derivatives come out of the Deep End bull, and it's probably just because of the maternal power on that 158W side. Mm-hmm. So. Then we'll move on to lot 93. We got a Maximus out of Julian. This comes from the Rouse program. A lot of performance in these Rouse cattle. Any comments you guys would have on lot 93?
We finally got one that got his head up.
Yeah. So. Here's a Maximus. Now the next question they're going to ask is he wild?
No, he is not wild. No, he's not wild. He just we could get his attention, I guess, was it, but. Maybe just a tick different than some of the Maximus, but I mean, a good calf in his own right, nothing to take away from him, just.
Any thoughts you might have, Jake?
I want to defer to my mentors.
You make me feel old when you say that. So on to 94. Here's a stockman, not stock market, I guess, out of hard drive. Just does a lot right across the board. You know, pretty good performance with a 110 on weaning ratio and a 663. 2-star calving ease. Thoughts on him?
Good dam. She bred back. I know, and I mean that's pretty awesome. You'll wean this thing off and get bred back on time.
Yep. So the Oda cow line's been here quite a few. Well, I think it came to us from the Basin program is probably where Oda came from. You know, the 187A cow has kind of always been. Matter of fact, where is the 187A cow? I want to say she's someplace where I still see progeny, but I'm not sure about that.
I don't know. We should have looked this up before we talked.
If you go on this bull's pedigree on the Red Angus website and plug in the registration number, you can actually look and probably see where the 187A cow is today.
I'm sure she's working somewhere.
Yeah, she's working someplace because I have seen progeny. Oh, I think she went to Blake and Kristen Angel at Lungren Angus. I'm almost certain of it now that I think about it. So their sale is actually the day we're filming this, but not the day it airs, which is airs on the 24th, but we're recording on Friday the 19th. So that's something that our video producer probably didn't want me to mention, but we are recording them beforehand. So
We're honest.
yeah. This is not live news. Anyway, on to not 96.
95.
95, sorry. I wanted to skip a few, I guess. Got a Stockman on a Federalist. We had one of these up like lot 1, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Federalist daughters?
Well, it's no longer Sam Tweed Day, but you know, again, they're good, moderate, just all around awfully good cattle. So yeah.
Yep.
Jake? I saw this bull the other day. I was bringing some cows up the alley, and I didn't know who it was. He was a ways away, and he started walking towards me, and I was just waiting to see who the lot was, figuring it was, lot 30 or something. But turned out it was lot 95. I mean, just got head turners all the way up, like you said.
Yep, great comments. We'll go to lot 96. Here's a Maximus out of a Rolling Deep. Thoughts, guys? A lot of power.
Lots of power. Just a lot of gas. Maybe it comes with a tick more birth weight, but I don't know, when it's 25 below, a little extra birth weight probably won't hurt you there on a set of cows. So.
Yep. One thing I'm going to talk about here is we really do believe the indexes work, and honestly, it's probably it gives you a more unbiased view of the EPD data, and I mean, so the story I'm going to tell you is that in the dairy industry, Select Sires was the first to really figure out and utilize indexes within dairy cattle, and I recognize it's different, a little different environment and that sort of thing in dairy cattle, but essentially Select really went on to and still dominates the dairy, the Holstein bull deal today. And so, one of the things you look at is these indexes locate these bulls or figure out with these bulls. And I know, so at one time the indexes for a pedigree like this, say Spartacus on Rolling Deep, would have been very high. But what it tells you is that we are breeding cattle better and better, in my opinion, and more to fit the industry. Now, it's a changing industry, and so we need indexes that will shift as focus in the industry changes. But here's a bull that sure still puts together a lot of options, top 1% for growth. One of the things I've said in one of the radio ads we've had is these Bieber and Angus cattle performing on the cow, to the sale barn, in the feedlot, and on the rail. And that's something that we want to do, when you look at this bull is 119 at the top 45% of the breed for Pro S. you know, that tells us that there's a lot of bulls at the bottom half, and this bull's still pretty good, but we're in a offering where that's probably a low pro S. So, lot 97. Thoughts on him, guys?
Another Tiberius calf. I mean, they're easy to be around. I mean, I always like walking through the pen and just kind of, they always come up to you. And,
Great disposition,
Yep.
just like the Spartacus.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, that's something I'll just mention. We're going to put this disposition score when we video on our sheet with the ultrasound and the frames, just so you have it. So there'll be a PDF of that on our website. So, Mitigator Daughters, thoughts there, guys?
They're just pretty good cattle, obviously. I mean, we had a mitigator put lot 2 on the ground, so you know.
Yeah, which is probably a bull we're going to use, but the Mitigator Daughters, that's exactly right. That's a great comment. Great.
So.
Lot 98, we have I guess it's a not stock market again, out of a marble bar. So marble bar was a bull that came out of Australia that we used AI. Did a lot of things right, but we probably liked the daughters as much as anything.
Yep.
Really good females. You know, ranks really high on marbling in the Australian database. ABS brought him over. You know, we've used some of them. You know, we always like to try. We feel that trying some of these bulls is some of these outside bulls brings in some new genetics and helps us kind of get good diversity. Now, on the same hand, I mean, I do think stacking these pedigrees does a lot of good for you as a producer. But the truth is we can only stack them so much, and then we need to have a little different variation in there. And sometimes we get access to a better some better traits that we want to kind of fix or clean up or improve upon. So, lot 99 is a warhead. Thoughts on warhead? This warhead calf.
got more power. I mean, just Warhead was that kind of thing, and I mean, I know Howie really liked him, and I think for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Hard Drive Daughters have done a fabulous job. This one actually has a MPPA of 107. So if you're unfamiliar with MPPA, it's called Most Probable Producing Ability, and it's really an in-herd ratio of how a cow has produced. Okay, so it's not. I mean, the EPDs are way more informative, but the reality is we like to show this because some guys like to really know how these dams have done. On to 100. We're going to have a great opportunity here to talk about why this cow's MPBA is not great. Truth is we flushed a very young cow. And probably her first calf come in 2019, which we had a terrible year from calving standpoint because of the amount of cold weather and blizzards we had. And to be honest, I mean, some of you know we have the hoop barns, but even when you have relentlessly bad weather, it challenged us. It challenged us. It challenged the cattle. And so we do think this is a pretty good cow. She's put some very good calves at the front end. We think the genetics, I mean, we identified her as kind of having some leading genetics in our program, and that's why we flushed her. I think there's more here. I think the EPDs tend to be probably representative of the bull. I mean, he's not going to have as much growth as we'd like, but he's 3-star calving ease. You look at the 18 CEDs in the top, 3%. If you want sleep all night calving ease, and after I've said that, I wanna open it up. You guys have anything I missed?
Pretty darn attractive package too.
Yep.
And yeah, I think just exactly what you said. I mean, don't discount it too much because of that MPPA. I mean, it's not all her fault that calf got beat up in the weather and this and that. I mean,
Yep, and that would have been her first calves, not this
calf.
ET
No,
calves.
not
yeah,
the ET calf,
but her first natural calf. And so I think it's not as representative as what her true genetic merit is.
Yeah.
So.
Could be he could be a buy.
Yeah, that really, he could be a sleeper in the whole thing. I don't know. We're kind of, this 100 is the end of our deal. Is there anything you guys want to mention to the watchers that we have here?
Again, just the depth of this offering. I mean, I know we say it all the time, but like Howie said, start from the back. You learn from you and go forward. I mean, being able to see how much they keep progressing, but also the consistency throughout.
One of our more discriminating customers, Scott Reynolds, who's a vet at the Broken Bow Animal Hospital in Broken Bow, Nebraska, said to me he likes to come early to look at the bulls because they'll get into the thick of it. And he said this is the deepest set of bulls I've ever seen up here. And he's been up here looking for several years. He's part owner of Maximus, part owner of Tiberius. There's other bulls that are failing me right now, but Scott's been breeding a nice commercial herd of Red Angus, sells his replacement heifers at a premium. But I mean, Scott thinks we've got a deeper front end. I'll guarantee you, there's no one more discriminating than him, and so. I appreciated those comments because he probably was about the first guy to look at the bulls after they were clipped. I think. Of course, I mean with COVID here, that's one thing I maybe comment on with the COVID. I mean, we're gonna have our sale. We're if you're uncomfortable, feel free to come and visit and look anytime and bid or buy online, or we can fix you up on a phone. Any of these guys will be available. All our numbers are in the catalog. There are additional people, and if you have a problem or you're concerned about it, just contact us before. We're going to be more than happy to help you figure out how to bid. DV Auction is a very good platform if you have high-speed internet. We buy bulls ourselves on there, and are very comfortable with that and the process. So with that, I'm going to close today's edition of Lot Talk, and we'll see you tomorrow.